violence to protect non-violence.
Absolutely. That's why being a Buddhist, being a strong practitioner of Buddhism, a lot of people preach but do not practice, but I would proudly and repeatedly say I am a Buddhist practitioner, and nobody has challenged when I say so. Being a Buddhist practitioner, we totally encourage the war against the LTT. Now see, there is a mad dog jump into a nursery and biting kids there. Now being a Buddhist, I should extend my compassion. To whom I should extend my compassion? The innocent kids who have been victim in the sea, or the mad dog?
Well, tongue in the cheek, I could say that it was the children's karma to be bitten by the mad dog.
That's entirely wrong. That's a wrong interpretation of karma. Unfortunately, a lot of people, since their shallow knowledge of Buddhist philosophy, they think that everything is karma. Karma is one of 6 driving forces of the life. And karma doesn't mean that
you stand by idly and watch.
And it's not something passive. In Buddhism, encourage to do kusal, to overcome your bad karma. And when a person are suffering,
I know but in some, with regards to the war, you brought up the point. The JHU is for it because it is defending, the war is
liberating
defending
innocent from the suppressor.
And this is the party position and always has been.
Exactly.
Right.
From the day one.
And in terms of just on that point though, as we began with a very violent month to 2009,
of course.
Do you think that the violence will there'll be upsurge in violence and the violence will continue throughout the year? How will it play out?
Now, Sanjana, at the very beginning I said that I am very optimistic that we are coming out of the dark period. I think through my own experience of 1980s, soon after the suppression of the elimination of the JVP uprising, there was a dialogue about how government did it and whether government used power in excess. And that dialogue was strong enough to throw the UMP government and bring a government to talk about peace, coexistence, tolerance,
and
liberty.
This is another year of that nature, you think?
No, what I am saying is, this government, of course, I don't see that as a part of the government. This government was not suppressive government as what the UMP did during 87-89 terror, because this government was very concerned about the civilian casualties. We had Wakare operation to liberate 40,000 civilians with 0 casualties. It's a remarkable achievement in military history of the entire world. And even today, Sri Lankan forces are in a position to capture Mullaitivu within days, but we don't do that because there are tens of thousands of civilians under the LTT's domination, and we have to ensure their safety. So that's why we have a slow march towards Mullaitivu.
2009, it will be a slow but steady march. The LTT will be eliminated?
Well, I would say, rather than using the elimination of LTT, I am very much confident that we will be able to liberate the entire country out of LTT domination. There will be not LTT held areas anymore.
But there will be a residual.
It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. We should not place time-bound deadlines for this kind of activities because Sri Lankan government is not the one and only actor here. So LTT react and international forces intervene. So this is a very complex situation to give deadlines.
On that point, say the LTT is militarily vitiated, weakened significantly. What then? Do you feel that there is a need for addressing the whatever you want to call it, the root causes or the underlying grievances of communities, that the political process is revitalized, and that some degree of a political process then takes precedence?
The JHU repeatedly has said, as well as submitted in writing to the APRC, that ours is the 3D approach, which has now been endorsed by His Excellency the President as well. First phase is demilitarization. That's of course taking place in the east, in the north at the moment, and to great extent we have done it in the east. The second phase is development, that is restoration of the infrastructure, providing basic needs of the people, who have been refugees for a long time. Third phase is democratization, restoration of the democratic institutes, not only local councils and provincial councils, but of course free media, this local grassroots level organization, that the essential element of democracy are not in existence in those areas. So after establishing that, now see, the JHU has repeatedly says there is no ethnic conflict. There are no nothing called discrimination towards Tamils. But one thing, Sanjana, while saying so, we have repeatedly said, who are we to say that there are no problems for Tamils? Tamils can only tell us whether they have problems or not. If those are, not only we are willing to listen, we are willing to accommodate whatever their demands, as long as they convince us they are right. And we have repeatedly said, if they come with guns and bombs to convince us, we eradicate that kind of activities. But if they come with facts and figures instead of guns and bombs, we listen to them. Not only we listen to them, if they convince, we accept not anything else, even Tamil Leela. But now let me add one more thing, Sanjana. The JHU is the only party in the south who has expressed that we are willing to consider Tamil Leela, provided that they support their argument with facts and figures, not with guns and bombs.
The 3D idea that you mentioned, this will only occur after, say, a definite end to the war, yes? Or in parallel
no,
to...
actually 3D is, the first phase is demilitarization.
Right, so this is already occurring.
That's what's happening right now.
But in terms of the free media that you mentioned, in terms of democratization, this can only occur after, it's a linear process in that sense, yes?
Well, now if you take the development,
I mean, can they occur in parallel, which is another?
Of course.
They can.
And it happens. It happens now in the East, right? Demilitarization has not been completed. And development is not concluded. After restoration of the basic needs, we started democratization. Now democratization, development and demilitarization all are progressing hand in hand.
Well, on that point, Udaya, I hope very much that the JHU and its 3D approach will bring about the optimism that you see this year for Sri Lanka, and that minority communities are indeed able to communicate quite clearly and convince you, moreover, that there is a need for that political...
They have all the right to do that.
Yes.
And our first effort is, of course, to ensure that they have freedom of expression. At the moment, they can only express what LTT want them to express. So we want to liberate them from the LTT, and they have the freedom of expression to truly say what they want.
And on wishing also the freedom of expression for all of us, thank you very much for joining us this evening, and all the best.
Thank you, Sanjana.